Another really good start there, and they're away in this men's under-18 200-metre final. So we're about to wind him up and watch him go here. Gout Gout. He's already got the stagger, so he moves right on past Chase Grant, and now we really start to open him up. So let the legs loose and let the kid run. He is absolutely gone. He is Gout of this world. 20.07.
Wow.
That is not huge.
Gout Gout just did what everyone hoped wouldn't happen. He didn't just win, he destroyed the field. At only 17, he broke records, outran legends, and etched his name into history. People knew this day would come, but no one thought it'd be this soon. They were scared of the moment he'd take over. Well, that moment is here. The beginning of something unstoppable. From the very first steps on the track, those close to him knew there was something different about Gout. Born in Queensland, Australia, to South Sudanese parents who migrated in 2005, his journey started far from any spotlight. But even back at Ipswich Grammar School, teachers and coaches could see it. Quiet, focused, and unbelievably fast, he stood out, not just because he was quick, but because of the way he carried himself. He wasn't just another fast kid. He was the fast kid, and then came December 2024, the Australian All-Schools Championships. That was the day everything changed. At just 16, Gout ran the 200 meters in a mind-blowing 20.04 seconds. That wasn't just fast, it was history-breaking. He smashed Usain Bolt's under-18 record of 20.13 seconds, a record that had stood untouched for more than 20 years. In that single race, he didn't just beat history, he rewrote it, the record that echoed worldwide. Gout's 20th of April wasn't just a victory, it was a statement. He broke Peter Norman's 56-year-old Australian national record, and overnight, the world took notice. Track and field forums lit up, Olympic analysts started talking, and even Usain Bolt's own fans began to whisper, "Is this the one? Is Gout Gout the next sprinting phenomenon?" In a sport ruled by loud, larger-than-life stars, here was a quiet teenager with world-class speed and a calm, almost unbothered attitude. He didn't go looking for the spotlight, but the spotlight chased him anyway. Climbing higher in Perth. Then came April 2025, the Australian Athletics Championships in Perth, the 200-meter final. The stakes were higher than ever, and expectations were through the roof. But Gout Gout? He didn't even flinch, and he delivered the kind of performance athletes spend their whole lives dreaming about. He ran a jaw-dropping 19.84 seconds. The crowd erupted. Commentators were left speechless. But there was a twist. The tailwind was just slightly over the legal limit, plus 2.2 meters per second, just 0.2 over what would have made his time official. But honestly, it didn't matter. Because wind or no wind, that race made one thing clear. Gout Gout had arrived, respect and rivalry. But it wasn't just his speed that stole the headlines that day, it was what happened before the race even started. Lachlan Kennedy, Gout's biggest rival in Australia, false started. Disqualified before he could even take a step. It was a brutal moment, but as the race ended and cameras zoomed in, Kennedy didn't walk away in anger. Instead, he went straight to Gout and pulled him in for an embrace. No bitterness, no ego, just pure respect. That moment went viral. Two young men chasing greatness, understanding exactly what it takes. For Kennedy, his journey continues. For Gout, it was just another brick laid on the road to legend. Not just the next Bolt. People can't help but compare him to Usain Bolt, and honestly, it makes sense. Gout's times at just 16 and 17 have already beaten what Bolt ran at the same age. But here's the thing. Gout isn't out there trying to be the next Bolt. He's building his own path, a legacy that isn't just about records, but about discipline, resilience, and that quiet fire inside him. Just 2 weeks before his incredible 19.84 run, Gout actually had a disappointing race. Most athletes would have crumbled under that kind of pressure, but not him. He trained harder, locked in his focus, and came back to run one of the fastest under 2,200-meter times ever recorded in any conditions. Behind every sprint, a relentless coach. Behind all of this is his coach, Shepard. She isn't someone who came from an elite athletics background. In fact, she used to work in retail before stepping into coaching through local Little Athletics. Her journey wasn't built on privilege or big-name opportunities, but on grit, knowledge, and a clear vision. Shepard noticed what many others missed. She didn't just focus on Gout's speed, she saw the strength of his character, and her own story is just as powerful. After surviving a near-fatal accident and going through 11 surgeries, she continues to live with chronic pain, yet remains on track every day, mentoring Australia's best. For her, Gout is a masterpiece in progress. Together, they're redefining what true coaching success looks like. A teen living like a pro. While most 17-year-olds are busy hanging out with friends or cramming for their exams, Gout's life is completely different. His days are filled with 6 training sessions a week, gym workouts, video analysis of his races. And on top of all that, he still keeps up with his schoolwork. His coach had told him early on that at this level, there's barely any social life left. Gout understood that and accepted it without any complaints, just pure commitment. That's exactly why coaches all over the world are keeping an eye on him. He doesn't just run like a professional, he thinks like one too. Europe, Florida, and what's next? And now, Gout's rise isn't just limited to Australia. In the coming months, he's heading to Europe to race against some of the best junior sprinters in the world. He'll be up against tougher competition, dealing with different climates and new challenges. But he's ready for it. What's even bigger is that he signed up to train with Olympic champion Noah Lyles in Florida. That's like learning to paint from Picasso. It shows that the very best in the sport believe in him. And now, he's getting ready to take that belief to the 2025 World Championships in Tokyo, the 2032 dream. Still, everything Gout Gout is doing now is building toward one colossal moment, the 2032 Brisbane Olympics. His home soil, he'll be 24. That's when sprinters peak. That's where his team sees the final form. 2032 isn't just a goal, it's the summit, and every 200 meters, every wind-assisted sprint, every training session, it's all a climb toward that mountaintop. Bigger than speed. But what Gout stands for is so much bigger than just fast times and broken records. He's becoming the face of a new generation, one that's diverse, driven, and never shaken by pressure. He's proving that greatness doesn't always have to shout out loud. Sometimes it just runs faster than everyone else and lets the stopwatch do the talking. His inspiration isn't only Usain Bolt, he looks up to Eliud Kipchoge for his discipline and Kathy Freeman for the legacy she created. For Gout, it's not just about medals. He wants to make an impact. The whole world is watching him now. And every time he steps on the track, there's a chance something special will happen. Running a legal sub-10 in the 100 meters? Very likely. Setting a new world junior record in the 200? Completely possible. Becoming a future Olympic finalist? Almost guaranteed. But when you watch him, don't just watch for the numbers. Watch for the story. The story of an immigrant kid from Queensland with quiet confidence and a coach who believed in him when no one else did, turning into the most electrifying sprinter the world has seen since Usain Bolt. Gout Gout didn't ask for the spotlight, but he's earned it. Every stride takes him closer to history. They feared this day. Now it's here, and all we can do is watch him become a legend. Like and subscribe if you want to say you knew his name before the world did. Gout Gout isn't waiting for greatness, he's sprinting into it.
Another quick time from Bayanda Walaza. Such a talent. The next generation of sprinting. He rounded down to 9.94, so a new personal best for Walaza.
A 19-year-old just did something so fast, so shocking, it left the world speechless. He ran 100 meters in only 9.94 seconds. How did Bayanda Walaza, a teen with a wild running style, beat records no one thought he could touch? What happens next might change sprinting forever. Sports Park Mladost became the stage for something extraordinary. The 19-year-old South African sensation crossed the finish line in 9.94 seconds, breaking his previous national U20 record of 9.99 set just 2 months earlier in Pretoria. The performance sent shockwaves through the athletics community. Track and field has entered a new era. Teenagers no longer wait for their turn on the biggest stages. They're seizing them and performing incredibly well, leaving experienced athletes behind. Arion Knighton destroyed Usain Bolt's U18 200-meter record as a teenager. He now competes consistently at the highest senior level. Australia's Gout Gout turns heads with remarkable performances on the national stage. This surge of youthful excellence has fundamentally reshaped global sprinting. Evolving training methods and greater access to specialized coaching from earlier ages fuel this transformation. Bayanda Walaza stands at the forefront of this, making his own mark on the sport. Walaza's journey began taking shape in early 2023. At the Athletic South Africa U18 Championships, he showcased his skills by winning the national 200-meter title and securing silver in the 100-meter. These performances signaled his dominance across short distances. The early months of 2024 saw continued momentum building. In March, at the South Africa U20 Championships, he secured the 100-meter title with a personal best of 10.13 seconds. These performances firmly established him as a leading figure in South African sprinting at both junior and senior levels. The pinnacle of Walaza's career arrived with the 2024 Paris Olympics. Initially named as a reserve in South Africa's 4x100-meter relay squad, he traveled more to support than compete. Everything changed when Benjamin Richardson, a two-time world junior medalist, suffered an injury during the 200-meter heats. Walaza got the call. One moment he was on the sidelines, the next he was stepping into the biggest race of his life. Despite being the youngest team member, he lined up in both semifinals and final, carrying pressure well beyond his years with calm focus and quiet confidence. In the Olympic final, Walaza set things in motion, running the crucial lead-off leg. The team delivered South Africa's first-ever Olympic medal in men's 4x100-meter relay, crossing the line in an African record time of 37.57 seconds. He had earned his place not just as a runner, but as a cornerstone of a record-breaking medal-winning team. His remarkable year was far from over. Less than a month after the Olympics, he was on a plane to South America, ready to compete at the World Athletics U20 Championships in Peru. At just 18 years old, he became the first athlete since 1998 to win both 100 meters and 200 meters titles at the event. Dominating the track in Lima, he captured the sprint double and cemented his status as one of the brightest young sprinters in the world. In the 200-meter final, he crossed the finish line in 20.52 seconds with a minus 0.7 meters per second wind reading. Australia's Gout Gout mounted a valiant challenge, surging toward the end to secure silver with a personal best of 20.60. The 16-year-old's performance shattered his own area U18 record and national U18 benchmark. Great Britain's Jake Odie Jordan claimed bronze in 20.81. Adding significance to his victory, he shared the podium with fellow South African Bradley Kawana in other events. The head-to-head battle with Gout Gout in the 200-meter final sparked conversations about a brewing rivalry that would captivate the sprinting world. Walaza's rise through the ranks hasn't just turned heads because of his speed. His running style has sparked conversations throughout the athletics community. Watching him in full flight, his arms swing with windmill-like energy as he powers down the lane. His upper body rocks in a way that breaks every textbook form guide. As strange as it looks, it works. Legends like Canada's Donovan Bailey and America's Bob Hayes, both Olympic gold medalists, also had asymmetrical styles. Yet they reached the absolute peak of sprinting. Walaza may be on a similar path to greatness. In 2025, he opened his campaign in spectacular fashion. At the Gauteng North Provincial Championships in Pretoria on March 17th, he set a new national U20 record of 9.99 seconds. He beat Gifliot Leila, 10.17, and Emil Erasmus, 10.26, to take the provincial title. This performance made him the joint fifth fastest junior sprinter in the world over 100 meters. In that moment, Walaza joined an elite club as only the 9th South African ever to run under 10 seconds and the first junior athlete to achieve the feat. Just days later, he reminded the world that he's equally deadly over 200 meters. Racing to a new South African junior record in the half-lap sprint, he crossed the line in 20.08 seconds. Both performances weren't just personal milestones, they were qualifying times for the 2025 World Athletics Championships in Tokyo. On May 11th, he once again represented South Africa on the global stage, competing in the men's 4x100-meter relay at the 2025 World Athletics Relays in Guangzhou, China. He demonstrated consistent performance and his crucial role within the team. Walaza helped propel the South African squad to victory in the event. The team delivered a world-leading time of 37.61 seconds, adding another significant gold medal to his rapidly growing collection. This performance reaffirmed South Africa's formidable presence in world-class sprinting. The stage was set for something special at the 75th Boris Henjecovich Memorial in Zagreb. This World Athletics Continental Tour meeting would become the venue for Walaza's most stunning performance yet. Racing into a minus 0.3 meters per second headwind, conditions that typically slow athletes down, Walaza stormed to victory. He pulled away from competitors at the halfway point, surging forward with his unmistakable running style. His closest competitor, German sprinter Owen Ansah, trailed behind at 10.20 seconds. The clock stopped at 9.94 seconds. The young South African had shattered his own national U20 record of 9.99, which he had set just months earlier. With this performance, he now stands as the fourth fastest U20 sprinter in history. Only 3 athletes have ever gone faster at that age. Botswana's Olympic 200-meter champion Letsile Tebogo ran 9.91 in 2022. American Christian Miller clocked 9.93 in 2024. Only 3 South African sprinters have ever recorded faster times than Walaza's new mark. Walaza and his coach had their sights set on Zagreb. They wanted to make a statement to show that South Africa is one of the strongest sprinting nations in the world. While they expected a fast time, maybe around 9.98, Walaza pushed beyond even their best predictions. It was something my coach and I were planning to come here and show up and show that South Africa is one of the strongest countries, said an elated Walaza after the race. We were not expecting this result, 9.98, but it was 9.94. His ambitions extend far beyond current achievements. To be one of the fastest juniors feels like an honor and makes me want to work more, be strong, and win. If I could put myself together, I could be one of the fastest in the world. While Walaza was making history in Zagreb, another South African athlete was shattering records on home soil. Jessica Groenewald obliterated the South African women's mark at the SA 35-kilometer race walking championships in Cape Town. Representing Athletics Central Northwest, Groenewald triumphed in 3 hours and 10 minutes and 40 seconds. She cut 10 minutes off the previous SA 35-kilometer record of 3 hours, 20 minutes, and 25 seconds set by Natalie Leroux at the 50-kilometer World Race Walking Championships in Taikong in 2018. Nthatisi Mokele secured silver for Central Gauteng Athletics in 3 hours, 56 minutes, and 10 seconds, 1 minute ahead of Marizel Mentjes, who took third in 3 hours, 57 minutes, and 10 seconds. In the men's race, Tumisang Pule won for Athletics Gauteng North in 2 hours 54 minutes 20 ahead of teammate Thando Lumkwana, who claimed silver in 3 hours 21 minutes 40 seconds. James Malloy, president of Athletics South Africa, expressed his enthusiasm. "We are thrilled by the performance of our athletes who are raising the stakes in their respective events. Judging from the time shaved from the previous records, one can tell they both meant serious business. The 19-year-old athlete has been on a meteoric rise since first catching attention when he made the 2024 South African Olympic team. His progression from high school standout to global medal winner illustrates what happens when raw talent meets unwavering determination."
Now expects Amenya to lead into the straight, and Gout then third from left to come back at him once they get into the straight. His first race as a pro in Europe, this from Gout Gout. Now he's got a target. Menya moving away from him, Morizzi in the headband. A battle between these two, and Gout working so hard to get to him, and he gets there. Gout takes it by a meter and moving away, 20.04.
He's just 17, but in his very first senior race in Europe, Gout Gout made history. He broke Australia's 200-meter record with an incredible time of 20.02 seconds. So, who is this young sprinter? What exactly did he achieve, and what happened after that remarkable run? Born on December 29, 2007, in Ipswich, Queensland, Gout Gout is a junior sprinter whose journey carries the weight of his family's story. His surname comes from his South Sudanese roots. His parents fled their country through Egypt before finally settling in Australia. At first, he was just another school-level athlete, but everything changed when, at only 14, he set the Australian under-16 record in the 100 meters with a blistering 10.57-second run. He didn't stop there. In April 2023, he smashed the Australian U18 200-meter record with a time of 20.87 seconds in Brisbane, a performance that grabbed national attention. Just a few months later, in August, he won silver in the 200 meters at the World U20 Championships in Lima with a 20.60 second run. That medal wasn't just another result, it was proof that Gout Gout was no longer just a promising junior.